Hello and welcome everyone back to the Calvin Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are back with another banger PulseChain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. Now, unfortunately, the crypto market is not as bullish as I sound, but I promise you'll leave this video more confident in your bags in PulseChain in this bull run and in this upcoming altcoin season. So fear not, watch the whole video through. Thank you very much for tuning in. At the end of the day, this is what you're subscribed here for that key information asymmetry, that competitive edge. What do you know that the other 99% of crypto investors and traders do not know? And actually, believe it or not, you're already a winner by being in PulseChain. Okay, so if you're holding at this time where everyone's fearful, where everyone is basically calling, hey, did we top on Bitcoin? Guys, you are a believer and we are in a believers only bull run. Okay, so we're going to cover a few bullish things in this video. I'm also going to look at each chart of the Core 7 because I feel like right now, guys, to keep it very simple, everything, almost everything is on a discount in PulseChain that I don't even need to scout a new hidden gem. Okay, we're literally talking about the main narratives like PDAI, PWTC. Again, I'm going to talk about it in a second. It is a 242x opportunity, guys. Do you understand that a few months ago, this was a 30x opportunity? We were 30x away from $1. I think we topped at 3.4 cents. We are now at we are now at half a cent, guys. It is crazy how this retracement has happened, which, by the way, this is completely normal. I mean, I don't really, we can quickly skip to the chart and I'll show you in a second. Looking at this chart, this is completely normal because if you zoom out, you'll understand that we're actually still creating higher highs, higher lows, guys. So if you're ever in doubt, just zoom out. Okay. So yes, even though we have actually fallen 84%, it is not like we haven't done that before. Matter of fact, the first retracement we had here was a 91%, which followed by a 39x. Look at that. And then we had a retracement of 86%. A lot of people were shaking out, guys. From the weak-handed to the strong-handed. It is simple as that. What you have to look at these charts, first of all, is people emotionally trading. This is why they call technical analysis emotions analysis. Okay, so it really is simple. Who believes the most in this narrative? I started making videos about PDAI when it was 3,800 X's away. And you tell me, do I sound crazier about talking about an opportunity which is 242X away, or an opportunity that is a 3,800x away? Nobody was even listening to me. Go look back. My views per video was around like, I don't know, a few hundreds. It's actually crazy. Okay, so please understand that at these low prices, these red candles, these low volumes, this is when you need to be greedy. And I've seen this a lot where people they tend to just talk and gravitate to where things are already pumping. The green candles, guys, you need to understand half of the equation is finding a bullish project. The other half is figuring out, is it overvalued or is it undervalued? And let me tell you, there is a lot of undervalued projects right now, but you have to keep it simple, okay? Because at the same time, you want to go for the main narratives, cover yourself with the main narratives, and then yes, you can speculate more with other stuff, which I'm going to make another video about other projects, okay, about other ecosystems. But today I just want to focus on the core ecosystem. Okay, now before we actually talk about the macroeconomics, where is Bitcoin going? Now, why am I bullish? Why can I sleep well at night? Okay, don't worry, I'm going to share this bullish news with you guys. I'm not gatekeeping any information here. We're going to, first of all, talk about the blood moon. A lot of people have been talking about this. I spoke about this as well, which is happening basically today / tomorrow, depending on where you are, basically on Earth. And yes, this is basically seen as a bearish signal, right? If you believe into or if you look into the lunar cycle. Now, what a lot of people don't talk about is the solar eclipse that's going to happen towards the end of March, the 29th. And I've said this so many times, okay? And it's so crazy that it lines up almost perfectly with the Bitcoin / M2 supply here, okay? Because look at this. Usually, it is kind of been deducted that the M2 supply is ahead. So Bitcoin has an offset compared to the M2 supply chart by around 70 to 75 days. So if we make this chart, you can actually see how they're heavily correlated. Look at this. Around where the M2 supply topped, Bitcoin also topped. And then as the M2 supply started falling down, Bitcoin started falling down. So now that we're seeing the M2 supply rising up, we can only expect, guys, that the Bitcoin price will follow suit. Okay, so this is why I'm telling you, looking at this intersection point where we can expect a reversal. So if we just go like that, it lands on the 30th / the 29th of March, which is absolutely crazy. Okay, that's the same time, around the same time where the solar eclipse will happen. Now again, this could be a coincidence, but I just like to, combine these because some people do find it interesting. But in other news, okay, a lot of people are very bearish about Ethereum. People are even asking me, hey, Khaled, do you actually believe in Ethereum? Now, let me tell you something which could be brutal. Okay, if you believe in PulseChain, you actually have to believe in Ethereum. Okay, whether you like it or not. And actually, Richard Hart would even agree to this, because one of the reasons why he wanted to create PulseChain, yes, because of course the S-load lookup was expensive, so he didn't like that for his Hex users. So that's one part of the story, yes. The other part of the story is that he mentioned that he wanted to deload Ethereum because the gas fees were too high, right? And obviously, generally other types of transactions were too expensive. And he gave an example such as, imagine having one branch of McDonald's, and now kind of your throughput, right? The people that can go in and come out is starting to slow down. It's starting to throttle. So it's better to make another branch of McDonald's. And now guess what? You have double the capacity, double the bandwidth, double the current. You know what I mean? Whatever analogy you require. So all I'm trying to say, and this is kind of my perspective, being in this crypto market for, this is my second bull run, by the way, in crypto. It's something I realize is that it's the unwritten laws of crypto, which is Bitcoin has to always stay number one. Ethereum has to always stay number two. The digital gold, the digital oil / silver, some people call it the silver, it has to. It kind of feels like the solar ecosystem keeps everything else in balance. We don't care what's number 3, what's number 4, and what's number 5. It's not going to be XRP. It's never going to be Solana. Okay? And this also has to do with the fact that Ethereum is what? EVM compatible. Okay? I believe being an EVM compatible gives a chain a better longevity and maintains its value over time. And the fact that Ethereum is, of course, early mover's advantage. It innovated the whole space. It is not, unfortunately, the first proof of stake chain, but it was the best to implement it, along with smart contract, along with DeFi 1.0 when Uniswap came over. But anyways, looking at the ETH BTC ratio, you can see that it is unfortunately continuously making lower lows. Now, where do I see this kind of bottoming out? Because we still do have a good amount of days between here and to the 29th, where I expect a Bitcoin reversal, sentimental reversal. I'd say I can see the ETH-BTC ratio falling down a little bit further until this support level all the way back in the previous bull run. It's so crazy how we retraced this much. Which is only, by the way, a 27% decrease. So it's not that much. So this is why if you would like to buy at these bottoms, it's very hard to call the bottom, right? So the next best thing is to DCA and divide up your buying power into a clip of 10, for example, and then you do a frequency of DCAing every couple days or every week. It really depends. Okay, so then you can average your entry price, and you'll be happier that way as well, because you don't want to be going all in and then tomorrow it falls another 10%, and then in total you're down 20-30%. You won't be as happy, even though actually being down 20-30% is actually nothing to what the recovery and what the future of Ethereum holds. Because actually, if we look to the ETH USD charts here, we can see a nice little pattern that could potentially repeat itself. History either repeats itself or it often rhymes. So this is a pattern from 2016. You can see the screenshot there. Big shout out to Ted Pillows. That's the screenshot from Twitter. you can see that we might be replicating this. So this is why I put this arch right here, is to exactly show that, hey, we could see things go slightly lower before we see the green. So please have that, cushion ready, or, expect a little, expect things to go a little bit lower before they go green. All I'm trying to say here, I'm just warning you to never short, number one, and I'm just warning you to never use leverage. So don't borrow other people's money, okay? Because yes, you might have a lot of people who are gonna go long on Ethereum, and I'm actually very bullish on that. But even when you try to leverage that, imagine putting a leverage on 50x on Ethereum, and then actually it goes down 20%, gets you liquidated, but then it literally goes on and does its Ethereum to 7,000, which I think is a walk in the park. Ethereum to 10,000, all of that without you. So please be careful, because actually I do believe your data, so all your leverage positions, they're all public. They're out there and they're hunting you guys. So please be careful. You just never know who's manipulating the market. I spoke about this theory in the previous video, where the fact that it's kind of a double-edged sword, that we have governments are now entering the world of crypto with us. Because now, they actually want to use and leverage crypto to pay off the 36 trillion US debts. And I think even part of the Bitcoin reserve is that they want to make a APY of 10 trillion plus per year just from Bitcoin strategic reserve. So imagine the absolute growth and vision that they have, because actually the total crypto market cap is 2.6. So for us to reach a Bitcoin return of 10 trillion plus per year, we would require so much growth. So, all in all, I'm actually very bullish. I'm very happy that we have a pro-crypto president. I'm very happy that, he cares about making America the leading country for the crypto industry. And I'm very happy that, obviously he is deregulating the SEC so that they no longer are stifling the growth of the industry in America. And in general, I'm also very happy that Richard Hart, the greatest crypto founder, has beat the SEC. They didn't get dropped by the SEC, they got beaten, ladies and gentlemen. It's a huge win for us. It's a huge win for crypto, because guess what? I myself sacrificed in PulseX, and that was a sacrifice for freedom of movement. People sacrificed for PulseChain, and that was a sacrifice for freedom of speech, guys. And actually communicating over blockchain, that's a form of speech. That's your First Amendment. Okay, so there is that. This is why I love PulseChain. It's really more than just a blockchain. It's a community. It's a representation. It's a movement. Okay, so moving back to this moon, keep that in mind. There is a solar eclipse, and I do believe we will see a reversal by then, because of the M2, and in general, other bullish news here is the CME gap that I spoke about 2 videos ago has been fully filled up. So I think honestly now there's no psychological thing that's holding people back. It's really looking good for Bitcoin, guys. From here on out, it is really looking good for Bitcoin. I'm super excited to see what March has. I think it's going to be eventful. Okay. A lot of people will be caught off guard, really, and the believers will always win. We are in a believers only bull run. Okay, keep that in mind. And going back here, this is actually a nice little chart that shows the US dollar index. And I actually spoke about this because someone mentioned that in the Telegram group chat, and it's very beautiful. Every time we had the US dollar index, first of all, that's a very good sign, because if the US dollar is weakening, usually the interest rates start to drop as well. And now that it will incentivize, number one, businesses, institutions, retail investors, and whoever out there basically to borrow more money, to take that money and put it on risk on assets, which is good for the economy in general. You want an economy that takes on more risks, to spend money in general. This is actually really good. So this is why we're actually kind of seeing the same trend, which showed a local bottom to Bitcoin. Look at this. Every time the Dixie, as it's also called, kind of has a rapid fall, it has been successful and very consistent with calling signaling the local Bitcoin bottom. So are we seeing a local Bitcoin bottom right now? Is that being confirmed? I am very, very excited. So, having all these factors, of course, it's not the end all be all factor, but it's really helpful to align those together because it does give you a clearer picture and it makes you more confident. And yeah, that is basically it. And unfortunately as well, Bitcoin is correlated with the S&P because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is a leverage of the stock market, is a leverage of cash, it's a leverage of inflation as well, because actually Bitcoin is a great example of inflation. Bitcoin is a leverage of bonds, but yeah, S&P is been the index that's most correlated with Bitcoin. So the fact that we're seeing the S&P falling down gives you the answer to why we're unfortunately seeing how Bitcoin as well is not doing as well as great as it could. But I think it's actually holding off quite well, being over 80,000. Ethereum on the other hand is definitely struggling a lot, but that only means that there's more gains to be made. Okay, the longer we stay at these lows, at these extreme fearful, if we go look at this, the fear and greed, guys, we are at 21 extreme, like that's almost extreme fear. And let me tell you, we don't stay at these phases for long, guys. It's a cyclical, it's like a sine wave. Okay, the longer we stay on one part of that phase, you better expect a greater slingshot effect. You will be rewarded, guys. And I'm going to carry on making these videos even if everyone's fearful. Like, it is so clear to me how, like, we have a bull run. We have, like, Bitcoin goes up 3 out of 4 years. Okay, go check out a chart which is called the macro crypto summer cycle, the Bitcoin chart. You will see, like, it shows how Bitcoin goes 3 out of 4 years, goes up. And then altcoins, they go 1 out of 4 years. And usually that's the post-Bitcoin halving year, which is what? This is the year. 2025. Every star has aligned for 2025 to be the greatest year. And let me tell you, it will most likely as well shift or move or extend towards to 2026 as well, because people are saying that we are in a super cycle, which I think honestly, the fact that we're also impeded, the actual bull run has been impeded, it makes it even more clear that we might see things extended towards 2026. Why do I think so? Is because we think about, let's talk about the latest super cycle, which was 2017. What's the similarities between, because guys, everyone here says, oh, this bull run is different. Oh, it's going to end sooner. You know what I mean? Don't listen to these big influencers that are just here trying to sound different, trying to get you wrecked. Let me tell you, it is not different. It is actually pretty consistent. Look at, as a hint, look at the global liquidity index. It is still a cyclical in nature. Moving on to the latest Richard Hart tweets here. This is a tweet that he said, few understand that Bitcoin just lets you mint a token out of thin air or send it to someone. That's 99% of the functions people use. Again, Bitcoin's really great at doing one thing, and that is literally being a store of value. And that's enough for it to stay as the #1 blockchain, guys, with 62% dominance. Okay. And we want to keep it that way. Okay, it keeps the whole solar system balanced. Remember, to the point that I mentioned at the earlier video. And to the next tweet here, which is a big shout out to Morales here. It says, Interpol's red notice doesn't stop Richard Hart from speaking his truth. PulseChain, a faster, cheaper, more secure Ethereum. So let's look at that tweet. This is quite recent, by the way. Today, it was very, very recent. He says, a secure network with secure trading and a system where anyone can launch a coin for pennies. Like dry kindling waiting for someone to light a match. PulseChain, a faster, cheaper, more secure Ethereum. No centralized validator services, and Pulse is more secure because Ethereum mainnet catches bugs first. Oh, I like that point. I've never thought about it that way. PulseX only becomes more rare as there is no inflation, and the buy and burn destroys the supply every day. We're going to check that out in a second. Hex inflates on time consumption, proof of weight instead of electricity consumption. Bitcoin 100%. And I think I talked about this a lot. Hex is actually a more efficient model to Bitcoin. Yes, I'm not going to say Hex is a better Bitcoin. I'm going to say Hex is the Bitcoin of DeFi, because again, I still want to give Bitcoin respect, of course. But Hex allows you to make yield without requiring expensive equipment, without requiring you to pay expensive electricity, without requiring you to have your equipment run 24/7 with noise pollution and a lot of heat dissipation. Guys, you're paying with time and you let in the smart contract do the accounting for you. Yeah, we live in such a time where we have efficient solutions to that. Guys, welcome to PulseChain. We love you. It's Hex. It's beautiful, really. I'm telling you, people will catch on to this. Yeah, what's up? I believe that we will probably have a PulseChain ETF sometime soon. You know what I mean? Sometime soon. We're actually starting to see a shift in terms of sentiment about what people think about Richard Heart, what people think about PulseChain. Because guys, people were, their first impressions about PulseChain and about Richard Heart was, oh yeah, he's a scammer. And there were only, and that really affirmed it, especially when SEC announced that they're going to go after Richard Heart and the Interpol red notice, which by the way is still on. Like Richard Heart is actually still wanted, unfortunately. Like, so he's not going to, we can't really expect him to stream anytime soon unless that gets sorted out. But let me tell you, I feel like the sentiment shift is happening. Okay, it's not unfortunately like an overnight change, but it is happening. There's probably a lot of talks with centralized exchanges about how they want to go about this. And I'm very, very excited because PulseChain, guys, it deserves it. We're one of the best communities out there. And just looking at, in terms of the size, the market cap of PulseChain to the volume ratio, it is crazy. It is absolutely crazy to me. So do remember, going back to PulseChain here, it is literally a 500 million. I'm just going to click on PulseChain. It is a 535 million market cap blockchain, guys. Crazy. So anyways, going back to it here. Here it says, Pump.tires code burns Pulse instead of earning fees and dumping them on you. And here he is sneak dissing what Pump.fun from Solana. Yes, guys, they've actually been dumping hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Solana on your head, guys, which is not really great. This one, on the other hand, Pump.tires, yeah, it burns the Pulse token. Imagine, we live in a world where not only PulseX is super deflationary, Pulse, a native coin of PulseChain, right? Which, by the way, it has to inflate to pay off the validators. We have 47,000. But even with all of that, Pulse is still deflationary. You don't believe me? Let me show you here in a second. If I go here, Hex stats, we go scroll down here to PulseChain charts. And then you can see, by the way, this will load. We have active validators 48,200. So let's scroll down and you will see Pulse issued burnt. So you can see we like in the previous last summer, we were actually inflating very slowly, right? Because of course we have to inflate to pay off the validators and I don't know, other stuff. But now, guys, since 20th of November, so around that Interpol red notice, it really put PulseChain under a lot of people's radars, and actually since then we've literally only been deflationary. It is extremely crazy. But speaking about PulseX, right, the better Uniswap, what Uniswap wished it was. And remember, by the way, PulseX is native to PulseChain. Uniswap is not native to Ethereum. Okay, so again, PulseChain here really playing the true decentralization, which we really like, because it's deflationary, guys. As you hold your PulseX every single day, you come the next day, your bag is harder for someone else to buy. Yes, I mean, if you look at the price tag, you know, if we're down double digits, then that doesn't really make sense. But don't focus on the price tag of the tokens that you're holding. Focus on what? The unit number. Okay, because now if we actually go back to GoPulse and we see how much did we burn from PulseX, 6.59% of the total supply has been burnt, worth 38 million at these low prices. And let me tell you, actually, when PulseX is cheaper and cheaper, the burning happens at higher rates, because of course PulseX gets cheaper, so it burns more. So during these times, guys, things are actually happening in the background. So in the next leg up for PulseX, it's going to pump even harder, because there's going to be less PulseX available to be bought, guys. Available to be bought, because with every transaction that's from a liquidity pool on PulseX, what happens is a buy and burn event. Guys, it's a buy and burn. It is simple. You don't have to make anything more complex, really. PulseX is going to be the future, the better Uniswap. Okay. And by the way, Uniswap is probably around that 7 billion mark. We can literally double check this right now. You can see that it's also number 30. Oh, that's not where I wanted to click. That one. It's number 29. Did it just update? Number 29 with 3.5 billion market cap. And look where we are. We are a 570 million market cap. So that's, that's a decent opportunity. That's around a 7x. So there's that, guys. We're very, very undervalued. Now moving on to this is a tweet that I wrote. A big shout out to a wild SJ here. I replied to her tweet, which is, what is the best thing that can happen? And again, I assumed that she was talking about, I'll be the 100th like here, assumed she was talking about PulseChain. And this is my answer. All right. And let me tell you, I usually don't like to be hype. I don't want to overhype things based on, baseless claims. I like to back them up with facts. And at the same time, I like to be optimistic, but in a realistic way, if that's even a thing. But this is the tweet either way. It's November 2025. You wake up in the middle of the night to check the time. You see a notification, Richard Hart live stream. What's up, guys? A little late to the stream. Had a great chat with Elon and Trump on Discord. Ethereum reaches 10,000 plus. SAC funds is now worth 1.7 billion. PDAI is at 89 cents. PWT is at $130,000. Binance is tweeting about PulseChain listing. Coinbase tweets about distributing the airdrop to their customers. PulseX, Hex, and IC are up dozens of X's. Donald Trump Jr. tweets about PulseChain as a made in USA chain. Baron Trump launches a meme coin on Pulse. Bear is labeled as the SHIB, or the Shiba Inu of PulseChain. And PTGC, UFO are the alien tech of PulseChain. Big shout out to them. Atropa is the moon math by a literal rocket scientist. Atropa dev, big shout out to him. PulseX is now available on Ethereum. So imagine, guys, the DEX goes cross-chain and is now on Ethereum. That's pretty cool. There's a native bridge for Bitcoin to PWBTC. This is huge, and this is something that actually the Atropa dev mentioned that could be very possible. PulseX Farms is live to incentivize Ethereum whales to supply EWBTC, PWBTC, and EDAI, PDAI. Again, we spoke about it in the previous video, and this actually was live at some point. So you can see here in the finished PWBTC, EWBTC, EHEX, PHEX, and I think a few other ones as well. So let me tell you, very, very smart stuff. That Richard Hart, I know for a fact that he's thinking about this for sure. Okay, better than making zero yield holding it on Ethereum. So again, that's incentive for the Ethereum whales, right? Who are holding their DAI, making zero yield. They're gonna come to PulseChain here. They're gonna provide it for PDAI/EDAI, which we're gonna obviously at that point will probably be around the $1. They're making yield with zero impermanent loss. Absolutely crazy. The same thing could be said about PWBC, EWBC. It's going to be with parity. So again, zero impermanent loss. They're making 20-30% APR. Happy days. Like, you know what I mean? Like, welcome to PulseChain. Rumors of PulseChain ETF. Richard Hart live streams with Joe Rogan, with Lex Fridman, with Stephen Bartlett, with Elon Musk, with Donald Trump, with Vitalik. I believe I get to never work again and just do what I'm passionate about. And by the way, sorry for the misspelling here. I feel like I misspelled a few things. I literally wrote this. Yeah, you can see here, 12:37 a.m. Like I woke up and I was like, whoa, let me write this down. I swear I just went straight back to sleep. I love it. I really love it, guys. Like it feels like it's part of my identity now. You know what I mean? It's an amazing community. You who's watching right now, thank you very much, because you're making this journey. I'm not alone. I can, share my thoughts with people. I can help other people, which, really, I feel like it's one of parts of my life's purpose is to help people, get them on board to this amazing instrument, which is the crypto industry. Allows people, gives them a chance, guys, gives them a chance to make generational wealth. The stock market, admittedly, guys, it is actually too slow. Okay, yeah, great. You can go in the S&P 500. Okay, now you're able to retire at 55 instead of 65. Good. You know what I mean? But for the people who want more, for the people who don't want to settle for working a 9 to 5, welcome to crypto. Welcome to PulseChain. You know, it was really an instrument that allows for people to work in a smart way rather than a hard way. So anyways, this is what I said. Making videos / tweets about PulseChain. Who knows? Could become an author. You know, I would love to write a book about crypto, about PulseChain in general. I would love to do that. Write articles, maybe soon. We literally are living in a history in the making. What a story to tell in the future. Absolutely. We've been hit with every type of FUD. You're already winning. You just don't know that yet. So I hope this gives you some vision of what is, you know, what could be possible for PulseChain, guys. And just carry on believing. Carry on believing. Right? So great timing, really. And now moving on. Before we move on to the charts, really, just actually before we do that, there was a quick reminder here that with Cointelegraph gives a tweet. It says a crypto trader gets sandwich attacked while making a stable coin swap, losing over 215,000 on a MEV bot, which I believe stands for maximum extraction of value bot. 220,000 worth of USDC was swapped to 5,271 in 8 seconds as the MEV bot successfully front ran the transaction. Brutal, guys. And a few takeaways here. Number one, please be careful of the slippage that you have on PulseX. So for example, if you're going to trade, make sure that cogwheel right here, make sure that's set to the minimum that you really require. So if you're doing a stablecoin to stablecoin, honestly, you can leave that on 0.5%, right? You can leave that on 1% if you want in general. So that person who probably lost a lot of money, like literally 200,000, he probably forgot that his slippage is at what, 49 or even 90%. Now, usually those front ends shouldn't even allow you to set that slippage to be that high. So I'm not sure what he did that was wrong. So please be careful. The second point is you don't need to directly go to Uniswap. The next thing that you need to do is actually use an aggregator. Okay, so for example, in PulseChain's context, you can use PDAI. PDAI is amazing, community made. It has been here for a long time. They've withstood the test of time as well. I've used them myself, and I can 100% recommend and vouch. Big shout out to PDAI, by the way. What do they do? Okay, it's a few things. It's crazy technology actually, where it sniffs for the best route or routes to get your transaction done most efficiently. So you get the best bang for your buck, basically. So if you want to sell $100 of, let's say, I don't know, PDAI into $100 worth of PWBTC, it will find the best route. And in a lot of cases, it will actually do multiple routes for you. So it will divide your transaction and it will do that 5, 3, 2 times. It depends for you, like in one single click. And actually there's also, that's called multi-routing. There's also multi-hopping. So it will say, okay, instead of going from PDAI to PWBC, I'm going to go from PDAI to Pulse to then PWBC. And it will do that all for you. So it does a combination of multi-hopping, multi-routing. And at the same time, on top of that, it also scans across multiple types of liquidities. So either on PulseX, on 9-inch, on 9mm, and a few others, depending on where the liquidity is. But most of that, it will be on PulseX. But this is the beautiful thing about aggregators. It actually saves you from MEV bot attacks, sandwich attacks, because again, they divide up your transaction. So that MEV bot now, when it reads it from the mempool, which by the way, mempool is basically a pool of pending transactions, which by the way, these is how the MEV bots, they actually go after people. So, and if you really want to go deeper into that and protect yourself, change the RPC URL that you're using to a private RPC URL that is not really tracking you. So that could be a little bit more tech techie solution there. So to keep it very simple, just use a PTS, and please keep that slippage very tight. Keep it at 1%, and depends on, you know, if you're doing a tax token, let's say that has 5% tax, yes, fair enough, you'll set that slippage to 5%, or, you know, 1% above the tax of that token, so 6%. So please keep that in mind, guys. Please be careful. Aside from that, we're going to go back to this tweet here, which is another tweet. I urge everyone to go follow me, by the way, if you haven't. And here it says, do not sleep on the greatest DeFi products you'll come across in this bull run. PDAI is on its path to $1, a truly decentralized stablecoin in the making, currently at half a cent. And of course, it's no longer 196, it's actually 200, what is it, 215? 242x. Oh my God, that's crazy. 242x opportunity. And PDAI has no freeze or blacklist function. Okay, a fork of the algorithmic stablecoin, DAI from Ethereum, but better because PDAI has no admin keys, but better because PDAI is native to PulseChain. That same reasoning that I told you guys with PulseX. PulseX is a native DEX to PulseChain. And now PDAI is a native stablecoin to PulseChain, because actually DAI from Ethereum is not stable to Ethereum. Here with PWC is the real Bitcoin, but with time turned back to 2017. You already know the rest. Currently at $468, and I think right now it's probably even lower. It's probably at 400. And look at this, it's actually at 375, so even way cheaper, guys. Okay, and I'm gonna make another video where I'm gonna do my chart analysis. But going back to it here, it says 175x opportunity. Again, it's way more than that. It is now at 210x opportunity, with a total supply of 154,000 tokens. Richard Hart owns 21% of the supply. So if you guys didn't know that, you can go check it out on scan.pulsechain.com. There's only around 1,600 PWC available to be bought, guys. And I counted this manually by looking at all the pooled PWC in the liquidity pools. There's only around 1,000, and it's probably because they dumped now. It's probably around 1,700 PWC available to be bought ever, guys. Ever. 1.7k left. That is it. So there is that, ladies and gentlemen. Great news, CoinGecko has finished correcting their listing for PulseX and Hex by removing the tag, which is alleged SEC security. So this is really good news. You can see the email here. Finally, we're being addressed, we're being respected. But guys, listen up, I'm actually going to end the video there. I really am looking forward for my next videos where I'm going to do some technical analysis in terms of the short-term price, where I expect the next leg up for tokens like PWC, INC, and all the rest of the Core 7. Spoiler alert to PDAI, I think the next level will be at 12 cents. More reasons on that in the next video, so hit that notification bell. Comment down below, it helps boost this video in the YouTube algorithm. Guys, if you want to support me, you can become a YouTube member. You can check out my course, link in the description. It is the crypto OPSEC course in terms of operational security. Are you following the best crypto practices? Understand the landscape that you're in, the different attack vectors, and how you can mitigate for them. Go give the course a read, see if it's fit for you. It's a 6-video part series worth 1.5 hours worth of content. So there is that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of PulseChain and in general the crypto market. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are your thoughts? Are you more confident after watching this video? And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.